Hello everyone, Mason here. How are you doing? Welcome to the Tag Marathon, Day 1. I thought I'd kick things off with the Small Booktuber tag, because I thought that it'd be a good way to introduce myself to any newcomers who might stumble across this absolute madness. So let's get on with it. Introduce yourself. I'm Mason. I'm 27 years old and I'm from the UK, if you couldn't work that out yourself from the smooth tones of my charismatic voice. Here's some things that you should know about me. I have a ridiculous sense of humour. I enjoy sarcasm. I really like sound effects. I really like sound effects. If I can think of a reason to work them into my videos, I absolutely 100% will. I like to talk too much. If you don't believe me, ask Leslie from The Nerdy Narrative and Lady Jane from Lady Jane Books. They both have extensive experience of my chattiness. Oh, and I'm 100% completely blind, but I don't mention that much. I've always enjoyed being in front of a microphone. During my teenage years, I egotistically thought that I could be a vocalist and I was destined for fame, either in a band or as a solo artist. I even applied for the X Factor at some point. Thank God that I didn't go. I also helped my sixth form college set up their radio station. It doesn't exist anymore. I wonder if it failed because I left. Probably. I'd love to say that I do this for your entertainment, but the truth is, I just love the sound of my own voice so much. Sometimes I even come into the recording studio, by which I mean my bedroom where my mic is set up, and I just sit and talk to myself. I don't even hit record, I just ramble on and enjoy the sound that fills the room. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this has given you a decent snapshot into who I am. How long have you been on Booktube? My first video was uploaded on the 2nd of February 2021, so I'm quickly closing in on 6 months, which is insane because it simultaneously feels like a long time and no time whatsoever. What kind of videos do you make? I do try to mix it up and I feel like I'm getting a bit better at that. Obviously I do tags, this is one of them during a tag marathon. As you will have noticed, I don't appear on camera. Now this is to level the playing field a bit. It gives you an insight into what it's like to experience Booktube through my eyes, and it also means that any visually impaired or blind people who stumble across my content have exactly the same experience as sighted people do, which is why I try to keep it audibly interesting with sound effects and music. Obviously, I do book reviews, which I try to keep varied. Sometimes they're just straight up reviews, but because I can't do reading vlogs, I've done what I like to call audio logs, where I update my thoughts between reading sessions. I also occasionally make videos about blindness because I feel that it's important. I want to raise awareness, both for sighted people to educate and inform and provide an open and honest environment in which they can ask questions, and also to help people on their sight loss journey. I only became comfortable with my identity as a blind person in the last few years, and hopefully my experiences and insights will provide some sort of relatable comfort. What do you love about Booktube? Everything. Is that an acceptable answer? No? You want more detail? Fine. I was welcomed into this community with open arms, and I've been lifted up by people who are willing to support smaller channels. I've made multiple friends, and I just love how varied, connected and accepting Booktube is. There are people from all walks of life. There's always someone new to discover, to connect with. There's so much variety in terms of style when it comes to book reviews, to tags, TBRs, wrap-ups, read-alongs and challenges. You just never know what you're going to get. It's just so much fun getting to watch people exercise their creativity, and when you dip down into the comments section, it's always such a supportive atmosphere. I really do think there's just a sense of magic to Booktube. What types of book do you read? Since I started reading again this year, it's overwhelmingly been crime and thriller, with bits of contemporary romance thrown in here and there. I had this big gap of 8 years where I just didn't read at all because my eyesight was worsening and then went away. But since starting to read again, I think I'm realising that I like stories that are more or less grounded in reality, that actually feel like they could happen. Having said that, I'm not opposed to reading outside of my comfort zone, and I am trying to get better at it. I recently uploaded a review for The Sundown Motel, which I absolutely loved despite being terrified of ghosts. If something comes along that captures my interest, I don't think it matters what genre it is, I will read it. Out of your videos, which one is your favourite? To be honest, as much as I enjoy reviewing books, I have the most fun when I get to just let loose, be myself and be silly. I love all of the blindness videos I've made. Despite the fact that it's my very first video, how do blind people know when to stop wiping and 9 other stupid questions is still one of my favourites. And the same goes for the best things about being blind and why being blind can be funny. I just had so much fun making those videos, and I feel like if you want an insight into who I am as a person, they are great examples. There's also My Life Inside a Kaleidoscope, the original poem that I recently did, where I talk about what I see now that I'm completely blind. I also love my version of the jump into the story tag, along with one of my most recent videos, which was every fictional detective trope in one video. Both of those just gave me a chance to do one of my favourite things, which is use sound effects and be ridiculous. But you guys are the audience, you're the ones that matter, and honestly, I'd love to know what your favourite video is. Now all that's left to do is tag/shout out some of my favourite small booktubers. There are so many great channels out there, I couldn't ever shout out all of the channels I wanted to because it would literally take forever. There are some that I think you desperately need to check out though. Firstly, my lovely friend KrisReviews recently reached 100 subscribers. Congratulations Chris, you really do deserve it. If you're not subscribed to Chris's channel, you desperately need to be. She produces quality content, guys. Book recommendations, short, snappy, 1-minute reviews as well as more in-depth ones, and somehow, despite the fact that I usually can't stand unboxing videos, Chris always manages to make hers descriptive and interesting. Plus there's the fact that her videos are frequently invaded by ferrets, which is just cute. Shout out to Jack Jack. Then there's Lena from BookOpinions, who I still think is great despite the fact that she hates the Midnight Library, which I really enjoyed. She's got a great sense of humour, she reads books that I've never heard of, and she recently made a video where she tried to see how many books she could read in a day, which is just fun. Seriously, go and subscribe to BookOpinions. Then there's Sarah Lorraine Reads, whose energy and attitude is spot on. It's so entertaining and likeable, and her content is really varied. She does tipsy tier rankings, there's one where she gives advice on how to annotate for beginners, there's one where she read all of her favourite books from when she was 14. Recently, she uploaded a book recommendations video where all of the recommendations were based on songs from Olivia Rodrigo's album Sour, which I thought was really inventive. She's really close to hitting that 100 subscriber mark, and I'd love it if we could get her there. Finally, there's Leo Bankroft, whose channel I only found recently, so I don't know him that well yet, but he seems like a nice guy, and he highlights non-profit organisations in his videos, and I respect that, so I wanted to include him in this shout out session. Obviously, I'll leave links to all 4 of those channels in the description. No question for today, I'm issuing a challenge instead. Can you leave me a comment that you wrote with your eyes closed? That's it for day 1, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, the like and subscribe buttons are just sitting there waiting to be pressed. Now press them, or else. Or else what? You don't want to find out, mate. If you want to get in touch, say hi and have a chat, you know where the comments section is, and the link to my Twitter is in the description. Thanks ever so much for spending time with me today, guys. Until tomorrow, take care. For now I'm off, and you should have a good one.